Welcome to Be Our Football Ranks, where we are honoured to be joined by two double world champions in the studio right now, Ashlyn Harris and Ali Krieger of the USWNT and Orlando Pride. Welcome to the Rank Squad. It is a genuine honour.
Thank you guys
so much for the invite.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We are pumped to be here.
We're super excited to have you.
We're excited.
Bringing the energy.
In the presence of genuine legends. We are genuinely honoured. Even over in London, in the UK, the things that you have achieved has sent ripples across the ocean. Seriously, we watched the Women's World Cup. We watched you beat our team.
I knew that was going to get sticky.
But we still respect the hell out of you.
Thank you.
So
we
much.
appreciate that.
It was a cracking game, that one to begin with, right? So
I feel like all of them were nail biters.
I mean, England they've done so well. And of course, with the new coach, with Phil Neville being there.
He's the shit.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you feel the difference between like the English national team of 4 years ago and
Absolutely,
now?
absolutely.
Major.
I feel like from the outside looking in, just the team chemistry and the camaraderie, I think that translates right onto the field for them, and they just work so hard for each other, and they've improved so much.
I think it's probably, that's a vindication, I suppose, of you guys, because if they've got so much better and you step up again and you just keep stepping up and it's just so incredible.
Their league's growing so much and they're investing so much in their women's league. So it's really, you're seeing a notable difference.
We were going to ask you about this because, it's such a, the leagues are growing and is that having such an impact on how these teams are progressing in the World Cup? And obviously it was tighter this time around.
Yeah.
You stepped up again and that's incredible, but you can feel the difference, right?
Well, when you think of like this, we played against Spain. Spain was like one of our hardest games, I think. Like they have grown. They're going to be a force moving forward. And that's just purely from the investment in their women's league.
And the youth team just won their... the U20 World Cup, I think.
So they're going to be firing.
Real Madrid have just picked up a team.
Exactly.
Real Madrid have just picked up a team. You've got to look out for that.
I know. Hopefully,
keep Jenny Hermoso firing and things go right. Yeah.
And you look at Italy. Italy did so well, in the tournament, and they've really invested in their women's league. And Juventus has come in on the women's side, and they're trying to grow their league, and it's paying off on the international level because their players are just played in.
Absolutely. Sam, do you want to tell about ranking? This is, of course, the Football Ranks.
This is the Football Ranks. Before we get into the ranking, we're going to ask you to talk about the three US national team teammates that you are now looking forward to playing against over the second half of the season. But just before we get into number three, is it weird? Because you talk about chemistry and camaraderie. Yeah. You epitomise that. Your team, your dressing room epitomises those words in the game of football. So to go from comrades then and this must be crazy.
Yeah. It is wild. I mean, because we obviously respect each other so much on our team and all of our teammates. But you want to obviously win every single game you play. So, training with them, with the U.S. national team, winning a World Cup with them, and some of them twice, it is tough to kind of, switch that off. But we are so competitive and we're so loyal to our club teams that, we're kind of like, bring it on. We're going to,
we love it.
We're going to, we actually talk
you
a lot
guys,
of shit.
We talk so much shit on the road. You guys would not believe. Like when Seattle beat Portland, when we were in camp. Pino was talking trash. Everyone was laughing. Allie Long was talking crap. Then it's like Orlando got one of we
won our first
win.
Game and
we're talking crap to New Jersey. Everyone's laughing.
So annoyed.
We love it. We love it.
Is it on the pitch? Do you give it even more? This is something that's always intrigued me. Like if someone because you just play people at whatever level, and you see someone, you're like, I'm going to give it so much. Like, do you give them a little bit more?
It gets pretty chippy sometimes, and our coach has to come in and like, okay, you guys, we have a game tomorrow. Relax with the tackles and the trash talking. But I think it's all fun for us.
I mean, we
keep
the 90
light.
minutes, we're not friends. And then, we're friends right after the game.
So give us the three. Go one by one. Just give us a little bit on each one.
Do you want me to start? I'll start. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So I have to go with the attackers. I want to go against Kristen Press. She just took someone's soul last weekend. So you just see their soul vanish. So I want to go against Kristen Press, Tobin Heath, and Megan Rapinoe. Those are my
I was gonna say
firepowers up top that I love going against because they're incredible.
I guess it helps raise your level against the top,
massive.
right?
Yeah,
so when you're playing against
and they're
three players
so
of that
good.
caliber,
They're so good.
But
it's
you know
sick.
them. You know there's their strengths and their weaknesses, right? Because you spend time with them. So like,
Well, that gives me no advantage with those players. So I don't know if that's a good thing. I mean, I'm like, ooh.
I mean, I'm so grateful I train against them every day in practice with the national team, so it makes me better. But they make me look silly some days. They're just that good. They're world class. But I always like the battle between me and Alyssa because we played together at Penn State. So I like that little college battle there that we have going on when she plays for Chicago.
For the goalkeeper.
Yeah, right. I want to play against Pino because we always play against each other during club because she plays on the left, and that's always enjoyable. And I don't know. Maybe I should pick a midfielder.
It's hard to choose. There's so many great players.
I know.
What's that? When you have,
Maybe like
when you have this
Lindsay
much
Moran.
caliber,
Yeah,
this much depth.
Crystal Dunn.
Yeah, Crystal.
She
I love
it in the
The
league.
We
most
laugh half the
incredible
time.
She
tournament.
kills it in the
She
league
kills
too.
it. I
you
mean,
want to
she's
play
like-
against. You have to,
Yeah. Bring
North
it.
Carolina. We always want to beat North Carolina because they're always so good. So maybe Crystal.
Okay, sweet. Well, thank you very much. So, I mean, we can't let you go without talking about that title procession, that period of time between the World Cup and the 70, 80, I don't know how many hours it was.
How many hours was it?
How many hours was it
What are we
that
talking?
things didn't stop?
It hasn't stopped yet.
Yeah,
I don't know what
honestly, if I see
You're
another,
the game of the week.
Your coach would be furious.
I know. I
if I see
know.
another glass of champagne, I'm gonna.
I know. We got home and we are like, let's go to brunch. And we're like, let's keep this party started or keep this party going. We get a glass of champagne and I'm like,
I can't even.
I'm like,
sip
I
it.
can't drink
know. I can even
another.
smell it. Yeah.
I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like we dried out.
I think
four
it was
cities
mostly after the
of
game.
champagne.
After the game in the locker room.
Yeah,
That
we
was
saw
like
some
the
great
biggest
videos.
celebration. Yeah.
We saw Julia dabbing in the background
Oh
and things
my
like that.
God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's one of the moments for me that I would
everyone,
pick out.
you're welcome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, incredible
look,
documentation.
you're
You've got
welcome.
a future. When your time in the game comes as a documenter.
I'm gonna hold you to that. Do you
That's
hear that,
good.
Bleacher?
Yeah.
You hear that?
We're just going to send you places and get
I
you to
know.
video reactions
Exactly.
from
Right.
things.
I'm gonna get right in that locker room. I'm gonna make the heat. Like I'm gonna make it happen.
So can you give us like some other moments that stick out for you in that span, those days after, that are hilarious or brilliant or crazy, things that you can share with us?
No.
Yeah. I honestly had. It's hard because I still don't feel like we had enough time to like sit back and reflect, and that's what I'm looking forward to so much of the victory tour. This is our time to like have fun. Like that is the best part about the victory tour. Yeah, it's serious, and we're celebrating with the fans, but for us, we fly in one training and we play, and that's like not like us. And camps are usually 2 weeks plus. But we'll be going to dinners and celebrating and having fun. And that's, I think, when we're going to be able to sit back and be like, holy shit, did you just, like, we just accomplished something so incredible.
Kind of reflect.
Yeah, really reflect together. Because, like, now we're kind of all on our own and we're getting thrown back into clubs. So, like, we haven't really had a second to just feel the impact that we have made in the movement. So I think once we get together and we can like debrief and like have some drinks and like be like, damn, this has been an incredible ride.
And when does that time come?
Oh, next week.
Yeah,
we
probably
fly
next
in.
week, wouldn't it?
We
We
fly
fly
in.
August 3rd,
yeah,
but,
to the Rose Bowl. So we
For
have a
me, I
game.
think it was the parade that really inspired me because you see all these amazing fans that you don't really get to see when you're, in your little bubble over at the World Cup. I feel like we heard that, there were watch parties and, you hear about our fans from home or supporters like really watching us and just, so happy for us and all these videos and things. But really, when you're on those floats, you're riding through the city and you just see thousands and thousands of fans just screaming your name and just so excited. And that support like motivates us and wants us to continue to fight for what we are fighting for and just play quality football that, how we're playing right now. It's really unbelievable, that feeling.
That's inspirational for you and they are inspirational to, exactly. It goes both ways, isn't it? It's
you
really
see the
awesome.
passion that we both share for the love of the game. And I think that's really incredible.
Yeah. Going back to club football this week, the weekend just gone, how special were those kind of games? We saw, we were down in Chicago last week. We saw the enthusiasm for the Red Stars that was absolutely flying about. And that game looked so fun. And everyone seemed to have such a good time. You had a record attendance as well yourselves. Like, how incredible are those moments to be like, this is, kicking on and really starting to ingratiate that within itself?
Yeah, because we want to share these moments with our supporters, and we want to create like such an incredible culture that like people want to be a part of. And I just felt like it was so electrifying in our like stadium, and for the first time, like I could hear people all game, and it was like the coolest feeling, because usually people are just kind of sitting and watching. It's pretty quiet, and we're not really used to that. And I just remember like reflecting that night, and I was like, I have to thank the fans, because people don't realize that when there's big crowds like that and you create a hostile like environment, it's really empowering for the people out on the field to like, I'm tired, this is so crazy, but like you hear the people behind you and you're like, let's go, let's dig deep. It's like such a different atmosphere when you have
walked
that.
out and there was like the stadium was
killer.
full, and that's just something that you're so proud of, just to be a footballer and walking out into a stadium that's full of a bunch of screaming fans and supporters, and you see the second tier full on one of the sides, and that has never happened since I've been there. And I was just so happy to see that, and we could barely hear each other on the field. Like you're talking to your teammate next to you and like they can't hear you, and that's a good sign.
Right?
That's a good sign. So it's growing, it's getting better. We just hope to keep this hype going.
Keep the momentum building.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. So, you've seen these people, you've inspired a generation in many regards, and now the trick is to keep that building, right? And I suppose part of that is just continuing to keep the levels so high, and it must be not easy, but you've just won the pinnacle of the game. You've reached the very top of what everyone considers to be the pinnacle. To come back to club football and be like, I need to keep going, but that's a reason in itself, right? To keep those performances high. And so is that sort of playing in your mind at the same time as you're like, we need to keep these levels up because it's going to keep people at it and keep the momentum going?
Yeah, I think you can look at it in two different like views. That absolutely, it's always a priority. I think for us right now, it's like, listen, we've showed up, we delivered again and again and again and again. Like, it's time to start investing in the women and the women's game. There's massive crowds all the time in Portland and in a lot of like big cities, and we got to keep that momentum moving forward. But we also need funding. Like, money is also what's going to get people in the seats, and it's going to, get better players here. It's going to keep our really good players here. But right now we're just like so tied down by like very low salary caps and minimums. I mean, it's really hard to keep a high level if you're not willing to pay players a lot of money.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's like, we need people, Budweiser just came in and they're investing, and Secret's investing, and all these great companies, like, keep investing in women. Like, we can't have this stuff die out because of lack of funding and lack of exposure and all that stuff. You have the best, like in Orlando, we literally have the best athletes in the world in your backyard. You should show up.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. You've got Marta, Alex Morgan, Sydney LaRue. Like, come on, people. This is crazy.
Just reeling off the...
Right.
We just happen to have, and that is incredible. Just to
Ali Krieger.
Serious teammates.
Exactly.
Just one story for you, basically, to wrap up, which I hope will make you smile. Last week on this podcast, we spoke to Mike McGee, who used to play for LA Galaxy. And he told us that he had been trying all of his daughter's life. I think she was 7 now, try and get into soccer, trying to get a kick. He just couldn't do it. He introduced her to David Beckham, didn't care. Robbie Keane, not interested. Because of you guys, he caught her kicking the ball up against the wall for the first time in his life.
No way.
And he
And they went down to the Red Stars, the whole video of them going down to the Red Stars for the first time. And
that was this weekend. They were on the pitch together.
It's so incredible.
And she finally caught the fever, and Mike was like, David Beckham couldn't get her to do it.
That is
But
amazing.
these
I love that
these girls
story.
have.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Wow.
look up that video.
It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
It's on his straight on his Twitter account because
Yeah.
it got picked up by a few news stories as well. He filmed it out the window. He was just gushing.
That's
I
so
love
cool.
to hear
That's
that.
so cool. Well, see,
Well,
that's I don't know. That's why we get the drive every day
Yeah.
to want to wake up and to go out and train. And like you said, what does it take to come back to club? And do you have that same mentality and that same? You love what you do, and you have so much passion for it. And I think it's just so enjoyable, whether the money's there or not. We love the game so much, and we love to compete at a high level. And I think that's what helps inspire these younger athletes.
And I think it's just creating a culture where you're willing to die on the badge. Like you guys know in England, like you live, breathe, eat, sleep your teams, like your club teams. Like that's just a way of life. There's nothing else. And like that's what we want to build, in Orlando. Is I told my coach the other day, I'm like, I want you to freaking bury me on this pitch. Like this is my club, this is my home. Like I'd do anything for this badge. And it's like, how do you get that for every single person in all their different clubs and create that type of culture?
And the supporters.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing more special than following a club and feeling genuinely part of it. And I think that's exactly it. If, you find people that can, really, really buy into those mentalities, then it will come, and that's it. And it feels like there's a real movement happening.
Yeah, and it's so much fun. Like everyone shows up to games and they're like, oh, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
Isn't this great?
Yeah.
We love it.
We got to do more of this. And I'm like,
The atmosphere is incredible.
Shouldn't be a one-off thing. Like this, you got to live and breathe and sleep by this badge. Like it's an honor. So I'm hoping like the fans feel the same way I do about Orlando, and that's the culture we're trying to create in our backyard.
Absolutely, 100%. Well, thank you so much for coming on and joining us. It's been a genuine honour, a pleasure.
Real pleasure.
Thank you guys.
And a really lovely conversation. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you.
We appreciate
it. Yeah, we're buzzing right now.
Yeah, we'll have
You
to.
should, you should
totally,
be. You deserve
yeah.
every minute of that bus.
Maybe we'll come visit you guys in England.
We'd very much
Yes.
enjoy that. That's an open invite.
Count us